All right, I finished pressing the casing or the waistband for my pajama pants. The pockets are pinned so that it will lay nice and flat for me. I am going to start at the back again to actually start sewing this seam, just because that's where I like to start. And I actually usually sew on the right side. I was starting to do it on the wrong side just because I like the stitching better that way. And because I've marked 1 inch consistently all the way around, I know I can sew at the 20 and still have everything ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and put my needle down and start sewing. I'm going to sew forward and then back stitch. Some things that you need to think about as you do this are that if you have, no matter what, you need to make sure that you have all your fabric out of the way so that nothing gets caught underneath where you're gonna have to rip it out, because that would not be any fun at all. So you're gonna go ahead and sew around. I can feel mine with my fingers underneath here as I'm steering it through to sew. If you want to sew with the wrong side up or the inside of your pajama pants up to make sure that you're catching your waistband, there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. But if you have good attention to detail, you should be able to sew around it without it being a problem. And because I have cotton, I can actually feel my fabric, the thickness of it. All right, so I'm to a side seam. And please, if you stop with that needle down, you can stop and readjust as much as you need to so that you don't have to worry about any fabric getting underneath or having anything like bubble up or fold over on you, so that it will lay nice and flat. All right, so if you have flannel, this is where you might start running into problems. I'm gonna take this first pin out. Ooh, I'm gonna actually just pull that one out too so that it stays flat. Now, this is a lot of bulk to sew through, and even though they told me these sewing machines will like sew through denim, you may actually literally have to take your hand wheel, turning it towards you to work your needle, like walk it through instead of actually sewing. Because if you have flannel, this is a lot of bulk and you might get that whole main motor overload message over here on your function panel. So please stop until it goes away and then just use your hand wheel to walk your way through this. And you may have to like give your fabric a little bit of a tug to do this. See how I just ran into that same problem on cotton. So my needle was up and I just tugged my fabric just a little tiny bit to get it to walk through. So now I am past where that's at and I can go ahead. Ooh. Oh, I just got that message. All right. And you can't really do anything until that message goes away. So I'm sorry, you just have to wait. All right, and I'm gonna just give it a little tiny tug, hand wheel, make my needle go down, and now I should be good to go to sew again. If you try to force that, your needle's gonna break and you're gonna be super frustrated. So please be patient. If you want help, ask. I'm happy to help you. Just let me know, okay? So I wanted you to see that pocket, and now I'm to the front, and I'm just gonna keep going. Your seam should go underneath of your buttonhole.